titled my essay is Being Native American in the 21st Century. My grandma told me that once you lose your language and traditions, you lose your culture or who you are. This statement has stuck with me because this was once a possibility for the eastern band of the Cherokee Indians. But now, thanks to the resourcefulness of members of our tribe, we have preserved our culture and language with an immersion school. Being Native American in the 21st century isn't easy. It's all about overcoming the challenges in preserving our language and paving a pathway for the future of that language through immersion programs and various forms of technology. The language of the Cherokee tribe is the most important part. Without the language, we have no way of expressing ourselves. Therefore, we will eventually lose our identity. I'm proud to be called Cherokee because our tribe was the first tribe to have a written language. This made it that much easier to pass on the traditions and stories of our ancestors and to ensure a future for our tribe. However, there was once a time in the history of our tribe when we were fast losing our language to the influence of invading cultures. The Cherokee first began to lose our language when foreign visitors came to our homelands. With the influence of the Europeans and their strange lifestyle, the Cherokee were slowly losing our traditions and way of life. As the influence of the Europeans grew, so did the impact that their religion had on the Cherokee. As European culture became common and even prevalent in America, boarding schools were established, which dealt a big blow to our tribe. The Cherokee were gradually pulled away from their culture and everything they knew as they were introduced and assimilated to the way of their once friendly and generous visitors. The language began to disappear as Christian names replaced Cherokee names, and traditions and language were squashed as the ways and customs of the Europeans were forced upon the tribe. Missionaries also had a big influence on the Cherokee. Because the missionaries were unable to read in Cherokee, the Bible was printed in English, furthering the damage done to the language and pulling the Cherokee even farther away from what they knew. Now, after many years of hard work and perseverance, we have rebuilt our nation and become nearly as strong as in our early years. A prime example of this language preservation is my mother's teaching. She recently started work as a first grade teacher at Gadua Immersion Academy. The Immersion Academy is a preschool through 5th grade school that teaches students the Cherokee language. They are only allowed to speak and write in Cherokee. My mother's whole 1st grade class is fluent in Cherokee. Even though she's only one person and has not yet entirely learned the language, she is helping in the ongoing effort of preserving our language for future generations. Another strong example of how we are preserving our language is through the use of technology such as computers. The Macintosh computers from Apple are the only computers that have the Cherokee syllabary as a font. In this technologically advanced age of the world, this is a huge leap forward in preserving our language. At the Immersion Academy, there is a keyboard cover that has the complete syllabary in addition to the English alphabet printed on it. That way, not only are the children speaking Cherokee, they are also composing and typing in Cherokee as well. Despite the fact that we still have a long way to go, we are well on our way to keeping the language alive for the learning and enjoyment of future generations. The Cherokee language is the core of the immersion program. From a very early age, as early as 3 months even, children are taught the language and exposed to a learning environment that is completely Cherokee. The influence of the language is even more far-reaching, as it is seen in the hospital, as translation from English on street and road signs, through modern Native Americans engaging in traditional dance, and even in tattoos that many tribal members possess. Through computers, an immersion program, and everyday life, our language is slowly but surely regaining the strength and power that it held in the days of our ancestors. As we continue to educate and immerse young children in our rich history and culture, so too do we continue to build up our tribe and prepare a new generation of Cherokee language speakers who will strengthen those who come after them. Only by healing this cultural void in our tribe will we enable future Cherokee to fully embrace our precious heritage and maintain our unique identity and sense of pride. Only then will we truly regain our language. Now is the time to rekindle the flame and keep it burning strong as we move forward into a brighter future.